I thought I could. I thought I could. I thought I could. The end. All right, you guys. It's time for bed, okay?
Daddy, can you tell me a story?
But it's getting late, Pumpkin. All right, fine. One story, okay? What do you want the story to be about?
How about your young story?
Oh, okay. How about we talk about our honeymoon? So you know that Mommy and Daddy got married in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we call a destination wedding. And so that means we go far away to have a special wedding. And that was awesome. But it was really short. And so after 5 days, we had to come back to Japan. So it wasn't really a honeymoon. And so Yuka and I decided, well, let's have an actual honeymoon. One where we can take maybe like a couple of weeks off and just travel. Now at that time, Yuka was working at a school. And so it was really difficult to take a long time off. After about 1.5 years, Yuka and I were finally able to block off some time where we could take vacation. So Yuka and I were like, okay, well, where should we go? We went to HIS, which is a travel agency, and we found the perfect tour. So we decided to go to our honeymoon in Germany, France, and Switzerland.
You may take a flight, right? Osaka to somewhere, right?
To Frankfurt, Germany.
Frankfurt?
So how long do you think the flight was?
I don't know.
13 hours. That's a long flight. It's a half a day. And what's the one thing that you guys most scared of?
Airplane?
Yeah, flying. But I didn't know that. When we went to Hawaii, she was scared, but I thought she was just kind of pretending. But when I went to Europe, I realized like, whoa, this is serious. Like she's really scared. And so we're sitting on the airplane, me, her, and then there's one more person next to Yuka. And Yuka is so scared because the airplane's shaking. And so what she starts to do is she starts to shake her leg like this.
Why?
Because she says if she's shaking, it'll help her forget about the shaking of the airplane. The turbulence, we say.
We'll be experiencing some turbulence.
And I was like, Yuka, are you okay? She's like, I'm so scared. And I was like, it's okay, it's okay. And so I started shaking my foot too, so that she would feel it and not be scared. And so here we were, both of us just kind of shaking our legs, right? And then the lady next to us kept looking at us like, what's wrong with these people? But we made it. After 13 hours, we landed safely in Frankfurt. It was a long flight. And the first place we went to was this place called Ludwigshafen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. During the summertime, in Japan, it gets dark around 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. In Germany, it was light out until around 10. Yeah, so right now it's 8:30, so it would still be daylight outside. That's pretty cool, right? So we got there, it was already pretty late, but we could still walk around because it was light outside.
Yeah.
And so Yuka and I went to this small little convenience store. And I'd never been in a place where I can't speak the language. Think about it. When I was in America, I could speak English. When I was in Japan, I could speak Japanese. We walk into the convenience store and we just wanted to get some drinks. So we asked the lady, like, oh, do you have any water? And then the store clerk was like, gas, no gas. And I was like, what? She's like, gas, no gas. I was like, what does that mean? And then suddenly Yuka jumped in. She's like, gas, please. I was like, what? What are you saying? Gas means carbonated, like, you know, the bubbles. And so I was like, whoa, Yuka, nice one. I was like so nervous and scared, and she saved me. And the next day, we went to a place called Heidelberg. We were on a tour, so we had to follow these people around. They took us up to see the castle, and it was such a beautiful day. And they took us to a very famous river called the Rhine River. Next, we went to a place called Rottenburg. Now, Rottenburg was really nice. It was surrounded by these medieval town walls. So you walk in, there's like these big giant gates. Go in, and it's just this beautiful old German town feel. And in the middle, there's a little square, and they have little shops, and there's a band playing in the middle. We had a little bit of free time, and so we found this Christmas ornament shop, and we were able to buy a nice German ornament. We still have that. So next, we went to a place called Bavaria, and this is near Neuschwanstein Castle.
What is that?
Neuschwanstein Castle.
I never heard that castle before.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly.
Neuschwanstein Castle?
Your guess is as good as mine, yeah. Anyways, it's a very famous castle. It's white. There's a bridge, and if you get on the bridge and you look at it from straight across, it looks just like Cinderella's castle. Yeah, it's amazing. And I was getting on there, and it was so scary because you could look straight down. And so you know how Yuka's scared of airplanes? I was super scared of heights, and Yuka was laughing because I was so scared.
Mommy hates airplanes, but the mommy like heights, and I don't know what that means.
I know, right? You would think she'd be scared of heights too, but she's not.
And then you're not scared of the airplane, but you're scared of heights.
I know.
Funny.
I guess that's why we make a good team. We can support each other.
You guys are the opposite.
I know.
What are you doing?
I'm telling them about our honeymoon.
Nice.
I talked to Daddy.
Nice story?
Let's go.
Come on, sit down, join us.
No.
Okay.
Come on.
And then we got on the bus, and then we got to the hotel really late. The next morning, when we woke up, it was so beautiful because we opened the door and we saw this river. And the river was this beautiful green color. There were these flowers on our balcony, and so we took some pictures. It was pretty amazing. And then after that, it was another day of riding on the bus. Now from Germany, we went to Switzerland next.
Daddy. Hot
Like
no
Hatha
hot
bus. And so we could see all these mountains. And finally, we got to the hotel. And then they took us to this nice Swiss restaurant. Oil fondue. And they had this Alp horn. Like this big thing. Big horn. And so the guy there was like, okay, who wants to try? You want to try? And so these people go up one at a time. And then when they go, and everyone's like, oh, and the guy's like, you can't do it. And the next guy goes, so embarrassing, right? And then finally he looks at me, he's like, you want to try? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try. And I go, and then I go, everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah, you're nice. Because everybody said that.
The next day we went to Interlaken, and then we got on the train. Now this train is so special. You're gonna like this part, Tate. Because this train doesn't go straight. This train goes up. It goes up the mountain. It goes as high up as Mount Fuji. 3,454 meters. That high. And so even though it was summertime and I was wearing shorts and stuff, they told us we needed to wear nice warm clothes. And then when we get up there, it's actually really cold because we're up in the mountains. It's a pretty cool place. It's called Jungfrau.
Yeah, young flower.
It has these beautiful peaks. It's all snow up there. And then we come down and then we get on the bus. We go to a place called Geneva. And then from there we get on another train. It's called a TGV. And this is like the Shinkansen. Yeah, it's like the Shinkansen of Europe. And as we get close to France, our tour guide gives us an announcement. She says, please listen carefully. Up until now, it's been very safe, very tourist friendly. But now we're going to get into Paris. And Paris can be dangerous.
Why?
There are lots of pickpockets. Pickpockets. They'll take your wallet. They'll steal your stuff. Right? And so if they steal your wallet, you'll have no money. If they steal your passport, you can't get home. And so we're like, oh my God, we got to be extra careful. And so if you have a bag, you can't just leave it like this, or someone's going to grab it and take it. You got to hold it, kind of protect it like this. And so when we got into Paris, we were so scared. We're like, oh my God, everyone's after us. We got to be super careful. The next morning, we went to all these different places like Eiffel Tower, the Palace of Versailles. We went to the Louvre Museum. The Louvre Museum was amazing. It's one of the biggest museums in the world. And they have all these different exhibits and all these different statues and artwork. But there's one that we really needed to see, and that's called the Mona Lisa.
It's Mona Lisa. I knew that one.
They had this on display, painted by Leonardo da Vinci. I almost said DiCaprio. Anyway, so to get there, since the museum is so big, we had to run around. And we only had 1 hour. And I was like, what? I could spend 4 days in this museum. So we're running around like crazy looking for this place. And we're like, oh, we can't find it. Oh, we're running out of time.
And the really huge, that's why they can't find it.
Yeah, even with a map.
The same, the space like that.
Keep going down around.
But we got lucky because we saw like maybe 5 or 6 jets fly by the museum. And behind it, they had these blue, red, and white streaks. And it was because it was a French independence and they were celebrating it. Red, white, and blue is France's color.
Yeah, I know that.
You know that, right? And so that's why that was in the sky. And we got to see that from inside the museum. We're like, whoa. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And finally we saw Mona Lisa. We took a couple of pictures. That was really fun. We also took a boat tour along the Seine River. And we ate escargot.
What's that?
What is that?
Escargot is snail. Do you know snail?
Yes. It's like an insect.
Yeah. In France, people eat snail.
Yuck.
It's not bad. They had this little green sauce on it and you can eat it. But mommy didn't like it.
Yeah, I would try the one bite or something, but kind of like chewy. I don't like it.
So I ate all of Yuka's escargot too.
Maybe the 12 or something like that.
So many. I liked it.
The sauce is good, really. Like the garlic and the basil or something like that.
I thought it was a snail box or something, a gel or something like that.
Slimy? No, it's cooked.
I thought that.
No.
I thought that.
It's like eating squid. It's not bad. So the next day, we decided to sign up for an optional tour to Mont Saint-Michel. Mont Saint-Michel is a stunning island fortress and a popular tourist destination. The thing is, it's 4 hours from Paris. It's so far. But we're like, okay, well, let's do it. It's once in a lifetime. And I was so glad I did. But one really embarrassing thing happened when we were in Mont Saint-Michel.
What?
So we were on this tour. And at the very end of the tour guide's like, okay, well, that's it. I hope you enjoy the tour. And usually Daddy's really reserved, right?
What's a reserve?
Reserved means kind of like shy or quiet. I don't say much, right? Especially in a group. But on that day, I guess I was in a really good mood. And so I just wanted to scream like, oh, thank you. So off the top of my head, I just said, bonjour, really loudly. But do you know what bonjour means?
Hello?
Yeah. So I thought it meant thank you, but I just said, hello. Bonjour. And everyone's like, what? And Yuka's like, what are you saying? The correct way to say it is merci, but I didn't know. I was like, bonjour. So that was so embarrassing. I was like, oh my god, why did I say that?
You shouldn't ask that to mommy.
I know, right? She knows a little bit of French.
Bonjour, I only know to say that.
You know how to say I love you?
Je t'aime.
Ah, je t'aime. There you go.
What you shouldn't say.
I know, right? Je t'aime. I was like, what? So the next day, we're back in Paris, and it's the first time we're not in a tour, so we can walk around just me and Yuka. But it really felt like an adventure. We're like, okay, we gotta be extra careful. We're so scared and nervous. And the funny thing is, in Paris, people don't really like Americans.
What?
Yeah. And so if I spoke my natural English, I was afraid they would like look at me badly. So I started using katakana English. I was like, hello, do you have coffee? Like that. You know, usually I was like, excuse me, do you have coffee? But I was like pretending to be like a Japanese tourist. But during that time, we were taking these pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower. And we were like, oh, this is awesome. And then I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. I was like, what is that? And it was a person. And so every time we would stop to take pictures, these beggars would approach us and ask, do you speak English? And we're like, no, no, no. I mean, maybe they're not bad people, but they're definitely after something, right? So we had to be careful. When we got on the train, we had to be extra careful too. Because train, you know, it's really crowded. And when they bump into you, that's when they steal your stuff. So we're like, okay, let's be extra careful. And it was so crowded. And so Yuka was like, okay, let's not get on this train. Let's wait for the next one. And so the next train comes and it's still crowded. And we're like, okay, let's wait for the next one. And then we're like, okay, this is going to take forever. We're never going to be able to take the train. And so on the third one, we finally get in and we're like so scared. But we were okay. We were okay. We went to Champs-Élysées, Arc de Triomphe. And you can go on the top and it was so beautiful. And then we went to Paris Disney. Yeah, there's a Disney in Paris. So someday I want to go to all of the different Disneys around the world.
Before I go to Disney Sea or something, and then I saw around the ball
Globe.
and then there were like Mickey marks, and then one of them you were saying France, so maybe that's the place that you got, right?
That's exactly right. That's the one we went to.
You got.
And our hotel room was so nice. It was really big. Since we were on a honeymoon, they got us the nice room. We call it the suite room, and it's huge.
You just call it the suite room?
Suite, not the like amai suite, it's a different suite.
Like a beautiful suite?
Yeah, suite means like a nice room. And I went to go buy some coffee at McDonald's. I was walking, and mommy took pictures of me while I was walking.
Do you have a McDonald's?
Yeah, they have McDonald's everywhere. So at the end of the day, Yuka and I started to get used to it. But I learned from our honeymoon that it's really important to get out of your comfort zone. So if you're always in Japan, you're going to get used to it and you're going to not think much about it. But if you go out of your comfort zone, that means you're going to go somewhere that you've never been to, or a place where you don't speak the language. Maybe it's a little bit dangerous, culturally very different, but I think it's important for all of us to get out of our comfort zone from time to time and challenge yourselves and, treat it like an adventure because it makes you stronger and it helps you see a different part of the world. Right? And I hope I can show you guys different parts of the world too. I'm so glad I chose to go to Europe with Yuka. And the adventure really brought us together. So after the honeymoon, we were much closer. All right, guys, did you enjoy the story?
Yes.
All right, so it's getting late. So both of you, let's get some sleep, okay? All right, I'll tuck you guys in. Come on.
Aww.
Okay, guys, get some sleep, all right?
Good night.
Good night.
Bonjour.
Hey. Good night.
Good night.
I love you.
I love you.
Je t'aime.